It's 2021 and this is what you need to know about buying a condo in the Toronto real estate market in 2021. Stay tuned, promise you, it'll be worth it. Good day, Toronto. Welcome to another episode of Prime Property TV. So glad you could join me here today. Every week on Prime Property TV, we take a closer look at Toronto real estate topics and updates that matter the most to you. And on this episode, I'm explaining to you exactly what you need to know for buying a condo in the year 2021. So make sure you smash that like button and subscribe to the PPTV channel for more awesome real estate content just like this. The button to subscribe is somewhere in the bottom right hand corner. You know the drill, just click on it. Now, I would classify the condo buyers in 2021 into three buckets. The first-time home buyers moving up the property ladder, call it say from a one bedroom to a two bedroom, maybe a little bit larger, and investors. So those are the three. Now I'm going to give you the things that you need to know and apply this to which bucket you're in because, I'm trying to break this up for everybody because everybody's different, but, just doing my best. So first thing you need to know about the condo market in 2020 is that I suspect it'll be still very soft compared to what we're used to in the last 3, 4, 5, 10 years, right? Despite a pretty strong comeback in the last 3 weeks in 2020 in December, the stats when compared year to year for the next 3 months until April are gonna look like crap. And you're not gonna think that it's gonna be going very well at all. How this applies to each bucket is as a first-time homebuyer, you're not gonna see an opportunity like this in the next 6 months, like after the next 6 months. I already said this last in September when we had a lot of inventory. It was time to make a move. It's gone a little bit better for sellers since then, so I jump on this as quick as you can. Now, this may sound like a sales pitch and self-serving, but we all kind of have short-term memory. A lot of us do. Less than 1 year ago, before the pandemic, it was bully offers. Here, take my money, like a Futurama style on every single condo. You don't want to be buying in those conditions. You can still have conditions right now. Take advantage of this. Do it now. Now, buyers looking to move up the ladder, this is where it kind of gets tough. The two-bedroom spaces really haven't gone down as much in price in terms of what people have hoped for. I'd say maybe like 3-4% on average in the downtown core compared to the 10% drop for like the one bedrooms back in 2020. Right? So this means if you're trying to sell a one bedroom and move into a two bedroom, the price gap between the two is larger now than what it was before. So does it still make sense for you? Well, that depends, right? So if you've lived in the one bedroom condo for long enough and you have equity built up from the big gains from like 2015 to 2018, yeah, you can make the move. However, you may want to consider moving into a freehold even though it's a little bit tougher and you're stretching yourself. The reason for that is the gap between the freehold, call it up here, and the condos is getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and I think it's going to stay that way for a few years. So if you ever had any aspirations of owning a freehold property in Toronto, making that jump right now into freehold before the gap gets bigger and bigger and bigger, makes sense, right? Investors. Condos only make sense for you if you're taking a calculated risk with negative cash flow. I went over this a lot in detail in last week's video, so you can click on the little I'm up here right now to check it out. But basically, only do it if you have other properties to support the negative cash flow and your entire portfolio is still positive. Or, you just want a super easy to do tenant management and then, have too much income and, you're okay with the negative bit for like 3 to 5 years, then sure. Go for it, right? Whatever, you do you. Anyways, so you let me know in the comment section below, are you a buyer or seller in this condo space right now and what your strategy is? I'm just interested to see how everyone is tackling the condo market in 2021. Now, the second thing you need to know about the condo space in 2020 is that the cost of pre-construction has not gone down at all during the pandemic or even after the pandemic. If anything, it's gone the other way, up. Now, in the life cycle of the last few pre-con projects that have been sold in the last 4 years, I'll call it, it's gone through foreign buyer tax, stress tests, COVID. Now, these projects are long-term plans for builders. So when it comes to selling, they only do when the market is confident in condos. And when they're not confident in condos, they hold back. That's why we saw a slew of launches in, call it like summer 2020, when the market was kind of rebounding, but nothing in the fall when we got a huge surge of inventory. So the the builders kind of backed off. So do not expect pre-construction prices to drop. As a first-time home buyer, only buy pre-construction if you cannot close right now and your income is going to increase later and you totally plan to take full advantage of the first-time home buyer incentive, FTPHBI or something. It's a really bad name. This is the program where the government gives you 10% down payment for your house. It's an easy way to get into the market if you can utilize the program and you're in that position. Otherwise, just go resell, especially if you can close your resale. Just makes that much more sense with the gap in pre-con and resale getting bigger and bigger. Now, buyers looking to move up into a larger condo, just don't buy pre-construction. It makes no sense. You put yourself at risk if the resale market doesn't catch the prices for what you need to sell your condo right now for. Unless you have a lot of equity, it still may not make sense, right? Because the potential delay that may come with a pre-construction, because we don't know what's going to happen, you may not even need the 2-bedroom, you may be ready for like something bigger altogether, right? So then you have to close that or assign it, right? So I can't really find a reason where this makes sense if you're in that kind of like buyer category. Now, investors, this one's tricky. If you're like tapped out for mortgages, this makes sense. Or if you have too much money, you just want to throw into something because you don't trust the stock market or the bond market or whatever, and you don't want tenants, go for it. Otherwise, anyone who's following the fundamentals of real estate investing, pre-construction hasn't made sense for a while, right? So the third thing you need to know about the condo market in 2020 is that currently right now, the number of sellers holding offers is ever so gradually increasing slightly, which means that they're getting more and more confident in the market. Now, I even had a few sellers when we were looking at condos tell me that, you know what? I had it listed at $499, but now I want $550, even though they had it on the market for 40 days and the market has somewhat changed in the last 2 weeks. So I don't understand it, but the sellers are getting more and more confident. Now, the builders are getting ready to launch some big projects, and some have already launched in January. So this tells me that the trend of the buyers, including builders, there's more confidence in the market, and the buyers are more confident in the market. That's why these things are moving, right? So what this means for you as a first-time home buyer is you aren't fully getting into multiple offers yet, but it's coming. You still have time to pick and choose and have some conditions in your negotiation. So take advantage of that. As a person who's upgrading to like a 2-bedroom unit, still sell your smaller unit first and make sure it's a firm deal before you go buy and go firm on something on like the larger one. Give yourself that flexibility of like 60 to 90 days for closing, and don't put yourself at risk, because buying right now is a lot easier than selling, and you may think it's easier to sell right now, but it's not. We're not quite there yet. Investors, we're slowly starting to compete with the end users again, and even though the numbers don't work for us, it works for them because they're living it, right? So this is what I'm seeing in a lot of those like perfect condos. So you want to be aware of that. That's kind of where we're heading in terms of all things condos in 2021. I'll be monitoring the condo space closely as things seem to be changing quite rapidly. If you're looking for a more specific information specifically to you and what kind of move you should make in 2021, you can book a call with me. The link will be here on the screen. It's www.chatwithzen.com. Even though I've broken it down into like subcategories, I know everyone's situation is different. So you can book a call with me and we'll chat soon. Until next time, your move, your future. Now that you're done watching this one, how about this one? Oh, you know what? This one's good too. Ooh, this one's really good. You know what? Just watch them both.